Good evening, YouTube. Jason here, doing the next video in my OTC reviews. Tonight I will be trying half and half, which is, as it says right on the front, Burley and Bright, which means, of course, Burley and Virginia's. Evidently this does have a casing on it. Let's see what we get out of the package note. It's got a very similar cut, a short ribbon cut, just like the Carter Hall did. Now this has a sweet aroma. Reminds me a bit of licorice, raisins, something like that. I'm guessing the casing is some kind of fruit sweetener or something like that. Anise, possibly. Very well likely. So I'm gonna put some in my, and as well I'll be using the pipe again. Again, not wanting to impart any extra flavors onto it. Again, this has been washed, so starting fresh. Let's lower the bowl, and just like I did with the Carter Hall, to try not to affect the flavor, I'm going to be I'm going to be packing it very lightly, just to help me keep from trying to smoke it too hot. Just got some chunks. Thus being a shortcut. And probably because I'm not packing it super tight. Just got a little through the stem there, but yeah, that's okay. So, let's find out what it tastes like. So, half and half. It's made by what was that? Scandinavian Tobacco Group, Lane Limited. So it's one of the big conglomerates. So again, just like the Carter Hall was, it's a pretty basic smoke. There are different flavors in there than the Carter did. Again, it has a sweetness. I'm not getting the nuttiness like the Carter had. The casing flavor comes through a bit. Yeah, licorice. Definitely. Once the saliva builds up in the mouth and it starts to wash away the collection from the smoke, there's a real creamy licorice kind of taste in there. Let's find out what the casing is. And cat in here playing with a plastic bag. Oh well. Air cured, Burley, Virginia, of course. Casing of anise. There we go. If anyone is unaware, anise has a very similar taste to licorice. In fact, it can be used as a licorice flavoring substitute. In fact, it may well, I'm not too sure, but licorice flavored candies may very well be flavored with anise. I know licorice root, it's probably harder to come by than the anise it is. So yeah, in difference to the Carter Hall, which again, these are both similar blends with being Burley Virginias. The anise on the aftertaste really hangs in there. It's not unpleasant, but it's definitely there. Combined with the Burleys, there are some other flavors in there. It's floral, creamy. The room note doesn't have any outstanding characteristics to it either to set it apart. The major flavor difference is really that floral licorice candy aftertaste. It's a pretty nice smoke. Makes me kind of want to try some of the other Maine Burley mixes, such as Granger. I think that'll be my next try. Getting farther down in the bowl here, and the flavor note has changed. It's less sweet and more nutty characteristic. I wonder if that's because the casing's gone away and now the Burleys are just coming through. You can see how this tobacco's been around for so long, because again, it is, although being very basic in flavor and mild, there are a couple flavor notes there that are just striking. The that anise aftertaste, and then boy, what is that? I'll have to return to this video. I'm gonna need to give this one more tries to really evaluate what that flavor is, because right now I just can't find it. I can't catch it. So I've had a bit longer to try this half and half, and I can't seem to get the same flavors out of it that I did on that first smoke. The anise barely seems to be there anymore. I don't know if my palate has gone dead from other stuff I'm smoking. Gosh, who knows? But I have, after that initial impression, which was fairly favorable, it's just not doing it. I mean, really. I think really the flavors that I'm getting from it is just too much purely tobacco. I mean, that's not a descriptive word, but I mean, that's really what it is. Other than that hint of anise that you get at the beginning, that casing, once you've warmed all the tobacco up and that casing goes away, which, I mean, that really doesn't, if you pack a full bowl, really doesn't take that long. Maybe after 10 minutes. Now, if you pack a full bowl, which is going to be, depending upon the pipe, a half hour or something like that, 20 minutes of smoking doesn't have that initial flavor anymore. Which really, to me, was the kind of niceness about this tobacco. So maybe the best thing for this tobacco would be to not pack a full bowl of it. I haven't tried that, but that's a suggestion. Maybe I'll give it a whirl and maybe do a little update in the future about my second opinions and or future opinions on these OTC tobaccos that I'm reviewing. So that's all it is for now. Hope you enjoyed my new intro graphics. Been playing around with Blender a bit, so if you haven't ever messed with Blender, it's a free 3D authoring tool. You got some time to mess around with something like that, give it a try. It's pretty fun. Anyways, thanks for your time. Appreciate you watching. Have a good evening and enjoy your smoke. Cat says goodnight too. Well, that's good. By the way, just share my cat, whose name is Freya. It's a Norwegian goddess of war, I believe. She's the one that I have to thank for all that pain I went through a month ago. But I love her anyway. Say goodbye. Meow.